Students, this is Mr. Goodsey here. I'm going to be going over some of the questions from the final exam semester 2 review sheet. A couple things I want to point out first. If you didn't catch this in class, the numbers are all over the place. The sections are sort of chopped and cut and pasted from different chapters because we're not going to put everything on the final, so the review covers some of the main ideas. So we'll just try and go over some of the main ideas here. So we're going to start with this one, mean, median, mode, or the box plot. All that stuff is in there. What we got is why we want to use this, why we want to talk about this. There's a lot of information contained in there, and these are the types of questions that there's not really a calculation required. It's sort of, can you identify these things? These are all just identifying questions. No calculation required, so if you can identify those, that's 6 things right there. No calculations. So I was going to say very little, but just no calculations. Okay, so let's go and draw our own box and whisker plot, and we'll talk about it on here. All right, so there's a box and whiskers plot. All right, usually you have a number line under here. Let's say that was 5, 6, 7, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and let's say 15. Okay, so let's talk about a couple things here, and then we'll go back to the other page and see if we answered everything. First things, why we like a box and whiskers plot. Instead of a list of data, this will quickly tell you what the minimum is, what the max is. You can quickly identify that. Okay, the lowest value is here, it's 5, highest value is 15. So if these were test scores, I can quickly tell who's the lowest in the class, who's highest in the class. Real quickly, just by looking at it. The median we use a lot, and that's actually located right here. Now notice the median is not actually in the middle here. Our median is at 12, even though some of our data is down at 5. Okay. So what about the rest of it? So the quartiles, that's what we call these things. That's Q1, Q2, and Q3. And the reason I like the box and whiskers plot is it divides stuff very nicely. Q1 is where 25% of your data is less than Q1. Okay. So 1/4 or 25% of the data is right in that range. Q2, this box is another 25%, so Q2 is 50% of the data is less than Q2. All right. And Q3, over here, 75% of the data is below there. Is less than. Okay. So let me draw this one more time, sort of illustrate why that's useful. Right. Poorly drawn freehand box here. This is 25% of your data. This is 25% of your data. This little box here is also 25% and 25%. That throws people off. They say, oh, it's a small box. The whole thing about this is you have a small area here, but you got a lot of scores or a lot of data crammed in there. This part, if it was like this, you'd have a same amount of data, but more spread out. It's a quick way to tell that, hey, the data down here is really spread. The data over here is really grouped together because it's all in a small box. And 100% of the data is between here and here. So between your max and your min, 100% of your data is, and that's where we get the range. The range is the difference between your maximum and your minimum. All right, so range is the difference between max and minimum. So that tells you sort of how far it goes. So for our previous example is 5 to 15, we'd have a range of 10. All right. If your data was from 10 to 90, you'd have a range of 80 because 90 minus 10 is 80. So that's how you find it. That's how you find all this stuff. All right. Okay, we're going to jump around a little bit in this review. I'm going to go over to these ones because these are just simple. There's really not much to do. It says find FH. FH is the length from F to H. What they're telling you is this is 8, that's 14. So if you walked 8 steps to get to G and then 14 to get to H, you went 22 steps because 8 plus 14 is 22. Very little to do in there. And again, these are the kinds of questions you want to nail on the final. Absolutely nail those things because those should be easy points. Okay, all the way down here. And this might be a little tricky. This is 13. The whole thing is 37. So I wonder, how much is FH? How much is just this part? And it's just a subtraction question. All right. When you get down to here, These are a little bit trickier, so we'll sort of go through that a little bit. Let me go ahead and draw what we have here. We have a segment with M in the middle and J and K at the end. So one of the things they show you these little two marks here. Those are actually telling you something. They're telling you these two things are equal. Because segment bisector, that's also in the information there. So the two segments are equal. So what you're going to say is 7x plus 5 and 8x are equal. So then 7x plus 5 equals 8x. All right. So we got to do some basic solving here. Okay. You might be able to figure out it's going to be multiple choice. You might be able to back substitute some answers here. But to solve this, we want to get the x's together. Let's get rid of the smaller one. Let's get rid of the 7x. We get 5 equals 1x. And you're done. Except for the problem, probably didn't ask for that. Let's go back and check our problem. It said find the length of JM. So we found 1. That's not the length of JM. All right. If we take 5 and plug it into here, then we'll find the length of JM. So 1x equals 5. So then 7 times x plus 5. You can plug 5 in there. 7 times 5 is 35 plus 5, which is 40. And there you go. Okay, I'm going to jump over a couple other similar problems here down on the section 8.5. These are both angles. Angle A, B, C, the way they lettered them here. A, and then B, and then C. You have to go in order. So it's the whole big angle. Okay, D has no part of this one. Okay, L, M, N. L to M to N. Okay, so how do you get L, M, N? Well, if there's an 85 and there's a 23, together they're 108. Because 85 plus 23 would be 108. So it's saying the small part's 23, the big part's 85. Add them together. It's pretty straightforward, not much to do. Okay. Same sort of thing over here. It's just like we did last time, except for it's not a bisector, so they're not equal. But you can say this one plus this one equals 95, because they gave you that information. They told you it's 95. So this one plus this one is 95. Then just do some algebra and combine like terms and stuff. Same thing down here. All these are the same. So if you get one, you get all of them. All right. So as far as review goes, I'd make sure you look at over everything. Don't bother spending all your time doing every single one of these. Make sure you covered at least a little bit of everything before you go. All right. Some of this stuff is just facts and stuff. We're going to jump over that. That will not be on our final, so don't worry about that. Let's see. We'll go ahead and pause the video here, so we'll start part 2 here so we can get some calculations for these ones. Okay, so check out part 2. We'll talk about midpoint, distance, and then the reflection stuff. All right. Thanks for watching. Good luck with the rest of it.